Hello all, welcome to session 5 of Object-Oriented Web Tutorial series. Today I am going to explain interface. It is very essential topic. I would say this is the backbone of Object-Oriented Web, and so this is also a first concept when you hear about object-oriented principle, right? So today I'm going to explain interface, how interface helps while coding, how to use interface reference variable. I'm also going to demonstrate application of using interface reference variable maybe in a next class because there is a lot to cover, so it can't happen in one session. So I might take another session for demonstrating application. So let's quickly go ahead and understand the concept. So please depict this real-time example also. So I'm going to create a class of car, bike, truck and bus in this session. And as you know, these objects or class belongs to vehicle category, right? So yeah, so these are all objects are from same category. Okay, so I'm going to create objects or class which belongs to same category. Okay, so please keep in mind. Okay, and now let's move to another slide. So now this is the task for you to guess common behavior or property among these classes. So you can pause the video, you can guess, and then you can resume the video. Okay, so let's think over max speed. So what about max speed? It is common property. Yes, it is common property. Fuel capacity is also a common property. Brake check is also a common property. Seating capacity is also a common property. And what about helmet required? It's not a common property because in car, in bus, it is not necessary to wear a helmet. Okay, conductor seat, it is also not common for all the objects. Load capacity also not common for all the objects. Okay, so now I am going to next slide, and this has classification. So common properties and specific properties. So one more thing is important. So all the common properties should be moved to interface for definition. Okay, so if you define common properties in an interface, that interface you can use in class. So all the common properties will be available in your class automatically. Specific properties should be defined in a class because these are not common and it doesn't make sense to define in interface. Okay, now let's draw the diagram. So it represents the interface and these represents object. Okay, so so all the common properties, as you can see in picture, so all the common properties are in interface, and this interface is being used by other class also. So by default, this method or common property will be available to all the classes, and implementation of these property can vary based on the class. Okay, the max speed can be different in car, max speed can be different in truck, max speed can be different in bus, scooty and bike as well, and same for other properties. Okay, so in this session I'll move to SE38 and I'm going to implement this example only. So so I'm again requesting you to just keep this scenario in mind. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'll create all the classes without interface. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is I'll not define this interface. Okay, so rather I would define all the common properties in car in each and every object. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay, so let me uncomment this. Okay, so let's follow the steps. Okay, I'm not going to use, rather I'm defining method individually in each class, right? So, and this is the implementation. So I'm uncommenting the implementation as well. I'm going to do very quickly. Okay, So I have defined all the common attributes, common method in class only. I did not use I haven't used interface. Okay. Okay. So first, yeah. So I have defined common methods in car, and I provided the implementation. Same way, what I'm going to do, I'm commenting the use of interface in this class, and again I'm going to define common method. Okay. So let's comment this. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I have done the same thing for bus as well. Okay. And for truck, let's comment interface and let's define common method in independent individually in each class. Okay. Yeah. Just do this. Okay. So this prefix uh, we use when we define when we provide implementation of interface method. So if we need to provide implementation of class method only, then we don't need to use this alias. Okay, please keep in mind. Okay, same thing I'll do for this one. What I'll do, I'll define all the common method here. Okay, and I'll uncomment, and the same thing I'll do. Okay, and I'll uncomment. I'll comment these method. Okay, so now let's try to activate the code. Okay, so the code is activated. Now what I have done, you can see here, I am not using interface, rather I am defining all the common methods individually in each class. Okay, and I'm providing the implementation like in car class and in bus class. Okay, and this conductor seat is specific to this class. Okay, and in truck class these are the common attribute, common methods, and these are the specific properties or specific method, and this belongs only to this class. Okay, so provided implementation, same for bike as well. Okay, so now I'll come uncomment this code. What this code does, this code uh, calls method of each class. Okay, so what we are going to do, first step is we are declaring class reference variable. Remember, these are the class reference variable. Okay, so class, how many classes are there? There are 4 class. So at that many class reference variable we need to declare. Then we are creating object same same as number of classes. Okay, and one by one we are calling the methods of each class. Okay, so let's activate this code and try to run it. Okay, I need to comment selection screen also because selection screen not required now. Activate the code, execute the code. So it is saying, see, for each object, all the methods, all the common properties are being called. Okay, so car objects, bus object, truck object, and bike object, and see here how many lines of code we have written. So 4 lines of code for declaring class reference variable, because we have 4 classes. We have defined 4 classes. Okay, and 4 lines of code for creating object, and for calling 3 methods we need to call 3 multiplied by 4. It means 4 it means 12 lines of code we need to call each and every method of the class. Okay, so this is without using interface reference variable. Now please keep in mind that how we are calling calling a common method without interface reference variable. Okay, so now let's use interface. Okay, so one more thing. So when we use interface in the classes, it provides a concrete structure as well. Okay, so so if you are adding a scooty object, you are creating a scooty class, or if you add another vehicle object, let's say you want to add auto. Okay, so instead of defining all the common properties in auto class, you use this interface and all the common properties will be available to auto object, auto class or auto object. Okay, so you don't need to define these methods again in this class. Okay, that is the main benefit of using interface. So what indirectly what it is doing, it is providing concrete structures to your class or to your object, right? So these are these I will not consider in, this is for just example. So while coding I'm using just only these four classes. Okay, so let's jump back to code again. So now what I'm going to do, I want to move all the common properties in interface. So I have defined interface and moved all the common methods in interface. And remember, in interface, all the methods or attributes are public by default. Okay. Okay, so if now I have moved these method to interface, so what I'm going to do, rather defining these methods again, I'm going to use interface. And for common method, I'll not define in class, in directly in class. Rather, I'll use interface. So let's delete. Okay, so if I'm providing implementation of interface method, so this prefix we need to use the interface name and this symbol. Okay, yeah. So comment these implementation. Okay, and comment this another method of interface. Okay, do this for this class as well. Delete the definition of common method in class. Okay, so uncomment interface implementation, comment these implementation. Okay, and this conductor seat is specific to this class. Okay, so that is not available in an interface. Okay, that's why I have not used this prefix. Okay, so let's change this struct class as well. Delete the common properties from, I mean, avoid defining common properties directly in class, use interface, then provide implementation of all interface method. Okay, use this prefix. Okay, now only one class is remaining. Do the same thing, use the interface, delete this common methods. Okay, okay, and helmet required is for is specific to this class, bike class only. Okay, okay, so what it is saying, I need to comment this code because now this the method name is changed. It is from interface now, so that's why it is giving me error. So let's comment these lines of code. Okay, and do the code check, and there is no syntax error. And let's try to activate. Let's see what changes we have done. Okay, so what we have done, we have moved all the properties to interface, and rather than defining all the properties individually in each class, we have used interface, okay, and provided implementation of all interface method. Okay, so it is mandatory to provide implementation for all the methods. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so now if I want to call each method, so what I need to just declare interface reference variable. Okay, so this is interface reference variable. Okay, and selection screen also I need to uncomment. And there is one more concept I want to explain. Yeah, so you also can, what you can do, you can create your object. Interface reference variable can be of any type. So it can be of your interface reference variable, and it can be of your type class. But that interface should be used inside the class. Okay, you can't assign the class type to interface reference variable where that interface you have not used. Okay, so in all these classes, use of in this interface is mandatory. Okay, so that's how you can assign type dynamically to this interface reference variable. Okay, so based on this parameter p, this selection screen p type, you can assign um, class reference to interface reference variable. Okay, so interface reference variable can be of type car, can be of type bus, can be of type bike, can be of type truck. So this is the way to assign these types dynamically. Okay, so you need to use this variable name inside course after writing type. Okay, so based on your selection, type will be assigned to this interface reference variable, and object of that type would be created. Okay, because we are using create object statement as well. Okay, so now this interface reference variable will have one of these class, right? So then we can call all the common properties. Okay, so at runtime, this object reference variable will have uh, reference of this class, either this class or this class or this class or this class. So based on based on the LV type name, the method would be called. Okay, this method can be from this class as well, bus class as well, bike class as well, and truck class as well. So let's see in action. Let's try to execute. And if I'll write C here, C means car. So if you see, all the methods are giving output for car, max speed of car, capacity of car, and max seating capacity of car. Okay, and if you type P or T, you can get uh, so program is executing a method of from the truck class. So let's debug it, and I'll tell you what is happening in background. So I'll put debug point here. Okay, and okay, we need to activate this code first, then we need to place breakpoint, then run it, assign T. Now debugger is starting. So if you see, P type is what? T. Okay, so if you see this interface reference variable, it does not have any reference, any object reference. It is just a variable like other variable. Okay, so now if you see it, it will go to this win condition, and LV type name is LCL underscore truck, which is class of truck. Okay, now this create object statement will create object of type LCL underscore truck, and and it will assign this, the object will be assigned to this interface reference variable. If you see here, this interface reference variable has object of LCL underscore truck. Okay, so using this uh, using this interface reference variable, you can get the max speed of truck, max fuel capacity of truck, and max seating capacity of truck. Okay, so that's what is happening in background. Okay, same for car as well. So this time the object of LCL car is assigned to this reference variable, and using this reference variable I'm calling the common properties, and uh, yeah, so the get max speed of LCL car will be called. Okay, not of any other class. It the get max speed of LCL car would be called. Okay, and get fuel capacity of LCL car would be called, and get seat capacity of LCL car would be called. Okay, so that's why you can see the this output really is concentrating on car. Okay, so now if you compare these lines of code, so if you see here, uh, the lines of codes without interface reference variable is more. Okay, and with interface reference variable uh, is less. And suppose if I add scooty and mm, scooty and auto object as well, so let's add scooty. Okay, so what I need to do here, I will add allo underscore scooty for, if I'm doing without interface reference variable, then I have to do this way. So again, I need to create declare one reference variable, class reference variable, which will be type of LCL underscore scooty. Okay, and again here one line would be added, create object allo underscore scooty. Okay, and again three lines of code would be added. Okay, scooty. Okay, so the more objects you will include, the more the number of lines would get increased. Okay, so but if you are using interface reference variable, and if you want to use scooty in your you want to create object of scooty, and you want to call implementation of scooty, so what means how many lines of code will be added here? Only, I think only one. Why? So I'll do, I'll just add when condition, when scooty is done scooty. Okay, so I just added one or two line of code, and the this the this lines of code is accommodating scooty object inclusion. Okay, so if you add auto objects, you just need to add two more line of code. And so if you see here, if you are using interface reference variable, the number of lines in a code is not getting increased. Okay, but if you do not use interface reference variable, uh, for each and every object, the number of lines in code is getting increased, is being increased, right? So that's not you want actually. Okay, and you can achieve dynamicity as well. Okay, so this is the main difference between uh, like with reference variable, or with interface reference variable, or with or using class variable. And one more thing, so only with using class interface reference variable, you can call only common method which you have defined in interface. Okay, like you have only defined these three methods, so you can call only these three methods using interface. You cannot call uh, I mean to say, you cannot call conductor seat using interface reference variable. Okay, because it is not available in interface. It is specific to a class. If you use this if you try to use it, you will get syntax error. Okay, so now let's do the code check. Yeah, it is saying that this seat is the method name is unknown, well, because this is specific to object, cannot be called using interface reference variable. Okay, okay, so if I'll uncomment, sorry, if I comment, then I can execute this code again. Okay, so I hope the number of lines of the number of lines in a code is not ex is not uh, increasing as much as it is increasing when we are not using when I'm not using interface reference variable. So that's why use interface reference variable is useful. Okay, so that's how it makes developers job easy. Okay, and you can achieve dynamicity as well. Okay, so yeah, so these are the basic difference. Okay, so now let's run through all the important concept. So I have summarized some important points. So interface does not provide implementation. All the properties in interface are public. If interface used in a class, all the method implementation is required. All interface methods, all interface methods implementation required, and there is one exception. So if you are declaring test class, except test class. Okay, the class you define for testing or unit testing, there all the method implementation not required. But apart from test class, all interface methods must be implemented. Interface aggregate common property of certain object type, like vehicle, home appliance, shapes. Like vehicle, I have explained in this session. Home appliance can be press, heater. Okay, and shapes like triangle, rectangle, pentagonal. Okay, so these are the categories. So based on the category, you can create your interface and you can use in its object. Okay, so interface reference variable are used to call common method and attributes. Like in our case, only max speed, fuel capacity, brake check, and seating capacities are the common properties. So only these properties can be called using interface. And if you want to call other properties, or if you want to call other specific method, you need to use class reference variable. Okay, and interface reference variable cannot be used. Use class reference variable. Okay, so that's all for today. In next session, I'm going to explain demonstration of this concept. In this session I just explained what is the difference between uh, how interface is used and what is the use of interface reference variable. So thank you for attending session. Please subscribe my channel, and I'll meet you in for another session. Thank you.